Alrighty, we're gonna start out our morning with our quick tour of what we've been doing on our quarantine and kind of showing everybody. Me and Sammy and Chiefy. Sammy, say hello.
Hello.
And our first little garden is this beautiful area. We got some lettuce, we got some kale, and some little transplants that I couldn't find a place for. We threw in here. Pretty soon it's going to be shaded out by this tree. So we'll see what we can get in there while we can. You want to show them yours first?
I have radishes here. I have carrots here. We have broccoli there. And then I'm gonna have pumpkin on a stick back there. And then I'm gonna have peppers there.
Ooh, what kind of peppers are you going to grow?
Sweet and spicy peppers,
Ooh.
I think.
And over here we started some of our herbs, and we just planted those yesterday, so we'll see how long. I have some started in our grow room that we'll transplant one day. And we found a bunch of garbage out in the woods, and we are going to reuse those to plant in. And of course, some lovely buckets. I threw some extra little plants I couldn't fit in my bigger garden here. I think there's some Brussels sprouts, and I planted some extra snow peas we had in a bucket. And this is my, once upon a time it used to be a bigger raised bed, and it's kind of collapsed over time. But this is a great area for my cooler weather crops, my brassicas, my cauliflower, broccoli. We're going to try some Brussels sprouts again this year. And these have been going since about the end of February, or middle of February. Started those inside. And that's pretty much all broccoli, cauliflower. We put some onions in between the rows. And those were all transplanted. So there's some kale. There's a little lettuce growing from last year. We had a big lettuce bed in here. We have some dinosaur kale. I'm super excited about that. It's supposed to be really big. And then we transplanted some spinach. And then back here, if you can see it, there is some little sprouts coming up, and that is purple kohlrabi. It's like a cabbage. And these teeny tiny little carrots. I'm just letting them get a little bigger so I can figure out which ones are weeds and which ones are plants. And then this long row here are radishes. We got black china, I think. English breakfast. And then we have a good little lettuce patch here. Some spinach. We tried the square foot gardening method here just to get as much in here as we could, and so far it's looking pretty good. And once we harvest these, we'll put those in rows too. Just experimenting with a couple different things there. And our little chickies are out this morning.
Can I tell them?
Yeah, Sammy wants to tell you their names.
That's Honey, that's Lucky, and that's Starla, and that's Peggy.
Pecky.
Yeah.
She's trouble. There's our blueberry bush. Needs to be trimmed. It's extremely tall. And our chicken coop is almost completely finished. It needs its tin on top of the roof here, and a little extra paint. But we have a little fence that runs along the side there. Oh, nice.
Oh, it's so smooth. It's got white speckles.
Yeah, nice. You gonna carry that with us? And we had just, my husband and his friend had demolished a shed. I'll try to find a picture of what it looked like before. But it kind of opened that area up. We didn't really use it, and it was kind of rotting. and he could use some pieces and parts from it. So he's gonna come back and get that. And we'll get that good and cleaned up, and we have a nice new area down here. Maybe we can put another garden.
No more gardens. We have too many.
Said no one ever.
What?
So we're gonna take you on down here to our other garden. So this is our main potato patch, and our seed company that we ordered from accidentally sent us a second shipment. So we had like double the potatoes that we had planned on, and we had ordered 5 pounds of 3 different types. So we had 30 pounds of potatoes. And so we have 10 rows of potatoes in this garden here. And I had tilled up this little area back here as well, just to extend the space. It actually gets a lot of sun. I didn't realize until this year, so that's going to be an extra gardening spot for us. And I got 2 rows of potatoes there, and then in between a lot of these potatoes, we planted some things yesterday. We planted a lot of beans. I planted some more kohlrabi cabbage in between. We have some snow peas along the little trellis over here, so I'm super excited about those. I hope we didn't get those in the ground too late, because it's getting to be pretty warm here.
Look how tall this is.
Yeah, it's a nice one. So let's take you over to our other garden. And I'm trying some boxes. Obviously didn't have enough. I've been saving them for a couple months, and I went to lay them out, and the garden's just too big. We don't have enough boxes, so we're gonna use it until it kind of disintegrates, and it'll kill some weeds. So we'll see how that works for us this year. And I'm not really sure how we're gonna set up this garden yet. Still kind of in the works. I want to put my tomatoes down here on the end, because we have a little sprinkler system, if you can see that here, that shoots the water out to help us water, because all of our water comes from over the top of the house above the hill, and so it doesn't reach this end, and tomatoes like to be watered towards the base and not from the top, so I may have to hand water those. So I'm gonna, I don't know the plan or the setup yet. Usually do the tomatoes out here, but we extended the garden a bit, probably about 2 feet this way, and there's a lot of rock and a lot of stuff in the ground, and so I don't know if it's the best spot for potatoes. We also found this drain. We have to get out of there. So this one's not quite ready. This is where our tomatoes, our peppers, our beans, our squash, our okra. It's a great big spot. It's about 35 by 30, something like that. And we're trying to use what tools and things we have here to build trellises and all these sorts of things. Just look at that beautiful cherry tree that's just starting to bloom. It's pretty gorgeous. Sure, let's go down to the creek. So this has been Sammy's spot while we've been on quarantine. I'm interested to see what's going to happen here. If you see that circle spot here, we had a big sunflower circle there last year, and we had a bunch of sunflowers that just died there. So I'm hoping some reseeds and they just kind of come up and go crazy over here. I haven't seen any little sprouts coming up, but we'll see.
Sandcastles, and you can play in the water. And up there, a waterfall that's fun to play with. That you can play with. It's also kind of like a water slide. If you really want to, and you get used to that water like all over your body, then you can slide down that waterfall.
Cool. It's a nice place to come cool off, huh? It's not very deep. It gets deeper as you go up.
Yeah, but if it rained, it gets really deep.
Yeah. We've had some big rains here lately, and it's kind of swept all this clean and kind of washed a lot of the brush away. This gets really tall during the summertime, but we're gonna try to keep it weeded down so we can come down here more so this year. Alrighty, well later we're gonna show you what's going on in our little grow room, show you all of our plants, and okay, say bye.
Bye.
Alrighty, so I wanted to show you guys the grow room and kind of where I've started these little baby seeds. And they've grown into these big, giant tomatoes. Not only tomatoes, that guy's huge. And so is this one. They need to go outside. Soon enough, little guys. So up here on the top shelf, so I can get a good angle here so you can actually see them. This top row is just mostly tomatoes. We had saved some seeds of our Cherokee purples from last year, and I went a little crazy planting those. I think I ended up with like over 100 tomato plants, and I just felt bad just picking them up and throwing them out. And I could just up pot them. I had plenty of room and plenty of space, so I did. Plan was to give them away, but with what's all going on in the world, don't know if that will be an option, so we may just have to find some places to put them in. So just wanted to show kind of what it looks like. Maybe I should do a video on how we made our lights and the shelving, which the shelving was already made, but how we did our lights and our chains and things. It was pretty simple.